Yo, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of Team on Three. I know it doesn't seem like I'm excited to do this. I am, but I already recorded this, so this is going to be a little bit of a shorter version. I did like a 29 minute long video about what I'm going to talk about, and got deleted when I tried to back up the file. So we'll see what happens this time. Hopefully not that, but I'm also currently watching Bucks Lakers, so we'll see how distracted I get and if I can maintain my focus here for a little bit. Anyways, what I kind of talked about in my video I made earlier was it was a video about Jayson Tatum and kind of the discourse around the Celtics right now. Right now, the Celtics are, I think, getting thrown into this loop of like a tier below those teams, or they're not getting talked about as much as the teams that are the Cavaliers, teams that are the Cavaliers, teams that are the Thunder. Like I think those two teams are getting talked about so much more because they're doing some incredible things. And it was also the discourse around kind of Jayson Tatum and his MVP case and why I don't think he can win an MVP. It's interesting, and we'll see. I'm curious to see what kind of happens in the next couple of years with the double apron and where that kind of leads them. But in that same breath, my conversation was really around the connection that I saw between the Philadelphia Eagles of this year and the Boston Celtics of the last 2 years. And my connection really was just the fact that Jayson Tatum could be compared to Jalen Hurts, obviously a different scope, different players, different sports, you know what I mean? But in reality, when I look at the broader scope of the Celtics, like a lot of people are asking questions like, why isn't Jayson Tatum talked about more in the MVP conversation? I think he's third right now, fourth actually. Sorry, he is fourth. And then why is Jayson Tatum not getting ranked as like a top? I mean, he's probably 4 or 5 for me, but it's like, why is Jayson Tatum not getting ranked as a top 2 player, top 3 player? And I think it's just very comparable to what he's working with on his team. And immediately when I say this, or when I eventually kind of clip this up and post it on other places like, TikTok, Instagram, stuff like that, like people will be like, yo, what are you talking about? Like, there's no way that you can compare Jaylen Brown to, or I'm sorry, there's no way you can compare Jayson Tatum to Jalen Hurts is what I'm trying to do. Jalen Hurts of the Eagles. They're like, there's no way you can do that. And it's like, the way that I'm looking at the situation, it's very similar because although in the scope of the league, like Jayson Tatum isn't the same rank as Jalen Hurts is, the reason Jalen Hurts, and when I talked about this before, I also related it to like, I'm a 49ers fan and a Blazers fan. So it's like, when I relate, like the reason that I don't think Jayson Tatum can be an MVP candidate and win, at least the way that the team is currently constructed, is because he has so much talent around him. It's almost to his detriment. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm watching the game, but it's almost to his detriment. Like everybody had the wishy-washy feelings about Jalen Hurts the whole year because he was the weakest link on their team. He's throwing to AJ Brown, he's throwing to Smitty, he's throwing to Dallas Goedert, and he's got the best running back in the league right behind him. So, and a great trench guys, good, incredible defense, best defense in the league this year. So like, although it's not like directly correlated with Jalen Hurts' play, that helps him and takes the pressure off of him. So then once again, Jalen Hurts goes and is a big game player. He comes out in the Super Bowl and he has the best games of his career in the Super Bowl appearances that he has. But at the end of the day, like, it's almost not as impressive, or it's not a MVP type of run because of the talent that's surrounding him. I look at that in the similar vein of Jayson Tatum, where it's like Jayson Tatum is the best player on his team. He's a top 5 player in the league. And the reason he doesn't get looked at as a upper echelon SS tier guy, even though he's a top 5 player in the NBA, is because of who he is surrounded with. It's just simple. Like, that's a fact. Like, that's why he doesn't get the recognition that some people think he deserves and Boston fans think he deserves, because he's surrounded by so much talent. I mean, every dude that you kick out to on Boston is a 40% 3-point shooter. And you have like it's similar to Jalen Hurts as well in terms of like you can have duds, but like I know when I need Jayson Tatum to show up, he's going to show up. He's a big game player. When I need him, he's there. So that's where I see the connection between the two players. Is there situation? I need to make a video about foul baiting, dude, and freaking flopping. But that's where I see the correlation is like their team is constructed so well that it's almost to their detriment because although it doesn't affect their play or their stats or their, it's not a direct correlation. It's like that helps the team win. And so therefore by having a great team and helping the team in the win-loss category, it also hurts you in these stats, MVP race, best player in the league race category. So that's kind of where I've been looking at the situation. But when you look at the Boston Celtics, it's like you're looking at a team that has Jaylen Brown, who is currently averaging 23, 6, and 5, 23 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, shooting 46% from the field, which is not great. This is a down year too. He's an all-star, but this is a down year. 45% from the field, or 45%, 46% from the field, 31% from three, which is terrible. Oh my God, that's a travel, right? Yeah, that's a travel. And then you look at another guy, right, who, because everybody's also talking about duos right now. Everybody's talking about who's the best duo, blah, 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 blah. And shout out to the podcast I listen to, shout out to the shows I listen to, Pick a Side, Nerd Sesh, Player's Choice. Oh my God, I'm missing one. Numbers on the board, bro. Like those dudes all know this team is stacked. And you have a guy who, all those shows recently did a player ranking, like a duos ranking in the league. And a lot of people, had Giannis and Dame super high, Jokic and Jamal Murray super high. And to me, that's valid. But like people also had Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown super high. It's like these teams like the Cavs and the Celtics, I don't even know if they have solidified duos. It's like, wow, KPJ with an insane block. Are you kidding me? Reeves just got put in the freaking KPJ. What's that called? Punching something? KPJ just roundhoused him. Oh my God. Can't say that. Anyways, like that's how good that team is. Like I watched Peyton Pritchard and Derek White go for 40 each, and they'll each hit 9 threes. KPJ is just playing whatever he's doing whatever he wants. He's the main guy right now. Like Derek White right now is averaging 17, 4, and 4, one of the best defensive guards in the league, a legitimate rim protector at 6'5", and he is averaging 45% from the field, 40% from three. What else do you need him to do? Insane defensive player, awesome around the rim, can hit 40% of his threes. Can't ask for much more. Kristaps Porzingis, who doesn't play, he's not. Yo, sorry, lost connection there for a sec. Oh, damn, you're passing too much. Just lay that shit up. It's a left-hand lane. Anyways, sorry. What I was talking about. You also have a guy in Kristaps Porzingis who's averaging 19, 7, and 2, 47% from the field, 40% from three. An awesome rim protector, a great post player, one of those guys that you can just count on. And why is my Nikes? Why is it bugging? Anyways, like that's another dude who you can kick out to 40%. Sam Hauser, Peyton Pritchard. Peyton Pritchard currently is averaging 14, 4, and 3, and they have the 6th man of the year on their team. That's Peyton Pritchard. Peyton Pritchard is 6th man of the year. 47% from the field, 42% from three. I watched him have 40 the other night against the Blazers, and he hit 9 threes. Why are we passing, bro? KPJ is not dude I want taking this grenade. Holy smokes. That's terrible. Just attack. But like, you know what I mean? Like you when you have players around you that are so good, so good, it's like that's hard to ignore when I'm looking at your statistics, and like I look at a Jokic or a Shea, where it's like when they're off the floor, man, When they're off the floor, man, when they're off the floor, it looks ugly, bro. It looks ugly when they're off the floor. That's what I'm looking at. It doesn't look ugly. I can't tell you if Jokic is not on the floor. I can't tell you there's not a single person dropping 40. If Giannis is off the floor, like Dame could drop 40, but like that's the only dude. Like they have dudes that can carry and take over games when their best player, front rim, when their best player is not available. And that's something that I have to look at when I'm looking at how high I can rank your number one guy. Because that's not to say, because I've said this before, Jayson Tatum he shows up, bro. He's a big game player. He has the most points in a game 7 ever in a playoff game. Most points in game 7. It's crazy. He's awesome. And I know he's going to show up when I need him to show up. But at the same time, I'm like Jaylen Brown's a lockdown defender. Derek White's a lockdown defender who's going to play great minutes for you. Peyton Pritchard has gotten so much better defensively. The first couple of years in the league for Boston, he was a cone. He was just too small. And I didn't even mention freaking Drew Holiday, who has been playing not very great. He's been hurt this year. He's had low percentages from 3. But like once again, just Mr. Consistent. I'm a huge Dame guy. I watched this guy lock up Dame with AD with the Pelicans in like 2017, 2016. Like I watched him lock him up. Dame's worst series he's ever had in the playoffs. Like I know what they can do. I think Boston's coming out of the East. The Cavs are a different team than they were last year, but my goodness, it's a gauntlet. So in reality, I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts and Jayson Tatum are the same player. I'm saying they're in similar situations. And when I look at, NFL discourse and it's like, yo, Jalen Hurts is not an MVP. Look at the team around him. Look at who he's being carried. Everybody's like, yo, Jalen Hurts is being carried. Jayson Tatum is not being carried, but it's like he can have off nights. And obviously like it's Boston. So I look at Boston like a Philly, like a LA, like in New York, where it's like, if you don't play good, you're going to know. The fans are going to let you know. Twitter's going to let you know. But it's like Jayson Tatum's allowed to have nights off because I know Jaylen Brown can go score 30 if we really needed to. Derek White can go 7 for 11 from 3. Peyton Pritchard can go have 25 in a game. They just have shot creators. And like, that's something that not a lot, like teams don't have a ton of. I'm watching Kevin Porter Jr. apparently have the greatest shot creating game of his career, but it's like not every team has that. And so it's like, how do I evaluate you when I look at dudes like Jokic having a 30-20-20 game and winning by 6? Like when he's off the floor, they're a must turn off if Jokic isn't playing. Because in reality, Jayson Tatum checks all the boxes, especially this weird discourse, which I'm going to flip to another category right now. But like this weird thing about like face of the league. And a lot of people are talking about how it can't be a European player, which is super weird to me. Super, super weird. But it's like Jayson Tatum is an American-born player. He is a great defensive player, a great connector. He's super cohesive. He fits into almost any offense. He can go score 30. He can do all these things. He checks every box. But people don't like him because he plays for the Boston Celtics and he's corny. We did it! Like, corny. Which I don't know what it feels like to win an NBA championship, so I can't even call him corny. I don't know what it's like to make millions of dollars. I don't know what it's like to have a kid named Dookie, like I can't judge that. So it's one of those things where it's like people don't like him because he's quote unquote corny and he plays for the Boston Celtics. So he gets underrated and that's kind of how things go. Just one of those things that I never like, because trust me, I'm not a Jayson Tatum stan. Like, it's not who I am. That's not why I watch basketball. I watch basketball to see if Dame dropped 50 and hope the Blazers won. But both those things never happened anymore, really. So one of those things where it's just like, I usually watch with a pretty objective eye. And one. In terms of like Boston, New York, those other teams, I usually watch with a pretty objective eye, or try to. So it's one of those things where I'm just like, I don't understand how this guy's getting thrown into maybe he's a top 10 player, maybe he's a top 8 player. Like for me, it's like this season, it's Shea, it's Yoke or Shea or Yoke, either way. Like choose who you want. I'm still a Jokic guy. I think it's going to be really hard for me to turn away from that. But it's like for me, it's Shea, Jokic, Giannis, probably Tatum, maybe Luka. It's hard for me right now because like Luka's defense legitimately does scare me. Like I'm being for real. Like he'll get hunted. I'm watching the Bucks tear him apart right now. The Bucks are up 20. No LeBron, which I get, but I'm also scared about LeBron. Austin Reeves, that was just a butter move. I'm scared about LeBron. He's 40. Like, how am I supposed to feel safe about LeBron? I get he's averaging 28 since the new year. He's awesome. He's still a top 10 player. He's amazing. He's beating Father Time. Nobody else has done that. But he has to do that for a full playoff series. And these teams in the West are coming to kill you. If you like, Minnesota's battling for a play-in spot right now, and they are coming to hunt you. Anthony Edwards wants to kill you. That's what I'm talking about. Like for him to play 35 to 40 minutes every night against a team that wants to dominate you, and Anthony Edwards who can do it. Oh my God, Dame, shoot. But that's what I'm talking about. It's like I never understood that, but for me, when I look at Boston, I just see so many threats on the floor, and I've seen it with my own eyes. And I think another reason too, Gabe Vincent, gross. I think another reason too is like their road to the finals last year was awesome, and they played well, and Jayson Tatum played awesome, especially against Indiana. But it's like you played against 3 injured teams. You played the Cavs, who are not the same team as they were before, not even close. They're a totally different team. And then you're going to play against a Indiana Pacers team. You played against a Knicks team who was missing Jalen Brunson, and there was no Cat, no Mikal, stuff like that. Like you the different team as well. I don't think the Knicks come close really, but still you are missing. You're not playing the same Knicks team. You're not playing the same Cavs team, and you're not playing the same Pacers team. Like Pacers lose Halliburton, and that's their glue guy. Siakam's not carrying that team. So it was just a little, not Mickey Mouse, but like you played a Cavs team that was not as good as this team, even close. Played an injured Knicks team. You played an injured Kyle Kuzma, my lord. An injured Knicks team, played an injured Pacers team, and then you played a team that had Luka Doncic on it and Kyrie as their backcourt. And like you just said, oh my God, we have better players on offense, and they have 0 defensive players. We're going to make them switch. We're going to hunt the mismatch, and we're just going to take Luka to Pound Town, really. They said, Luka, come here, turn around. Just kidding. But literally, like, that's what they did. They said, here we go. I'm done. And I get people. I mean, a lot of people talk about the bloody knees of Luka, blah, blah, blah. I mean, he played a couple weeks later for his country for the Olympics. But at the same time, it's like, you also can't sit out of a finals game. You're not doing that if you're Luka, no matter what. So it's just one of those things. Austin Reeves come again, has 28. Damn, oh my God, why are we passing so much? You're letting him back in this game, and it's hurting my eyes. Dame does this thing. Gabe Vincent, if you do it, thank you. Dame does this thing. Hold the ball. Kyle Kuzma. No. No, Kyle. Thank you, Doc Rivers. God. Kyle Kuzma just pulled a transition 3, and Doc said, come here. No. Come here. Got a seat for you right here. It's pretty warm. Got a seat for you. Anyways, one of those things where I still am picking Boston out of the East, but the discourse around Jayson Tatum is that's why he can't be in the MVP conversation at this moment in time. And that's kind of how I've looked at it as of recent. And anyways, that's going to be it. Like I said, I already did this video. I shortened it a little bit, but still. And then I got a couple videos coming out here soon. I'm taking some notes on the NBA, looking at what we've kind of learned from this, Western and Eastern Conference teams. I'll do a couple more videos on that this weekend, but just wanted to get something out. I've been super busy lately. Check me out on March 31st on Rip City Radio. But other than that, I appreciate it. This was another episode of Team on 3, and I'll see you guys next time.